What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about some NFL news that we got yesterday, that Jamal Adams was traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Let's get it started.
I thought it was a joke at first. I looked at it on my phone. I just started getting a bunch of notifications. Jamal Adams has just been traded to the Seattle Seahawks.
Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. Today we are going to be talking about some news that we got yesterday. Now, unfortunately, I didn't talk about this yesterday because yesterday, as some of you guys know, I was in the process of moving. It was a big announcement that I wanted to make to you guys, but unfortunately, today when they had the internet come out to put the internet in the new house, basically they said they couldn't do it. So hopefully it happens sometimes this week, but I really wanted to give you here's the tour and everything of what's going down. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the internet in. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the next couple days will probably be back and forth. And unfortunately, we're not back to the regular, ways yet. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, we are ready by the season. I'm sure we will be. But you know what? Hey, we just got to make it work. We got to do what we can. Unfortunately, we're going to probably push some stuff back because I really can't consistently know what's going to happen. So yeah, man, we're just going to do what we can. For now, I am over here. This is a different environment right now, but I don't want to show you guys around. You probably can't tell because it's just a green screen. I don't want to show you guys around yet until I have everything set up, and then it'll be really cool. Everything's planned. Now, before we get into the video, I also got to let you guys know that, as you guys can see, this is a green screen. But I don't want to always be using this. Instead, I have a nice light blue wall behind this. And I'm planning on putting things back there. So put it in the comment section below, send me some links, whatever maybe, of things that you think I should put back there. I'm thinking about putting my Stafford jersey back there, maybe trying to get a Kenny Galladay signed one. Someone showed me a way I could auction for that, so I was thinking maybe I could try to do that too. I want to hang some stuff up, if maybe a football or something. I don't know, just a cool background instead of just using the green screen. But now, let's talk about the news that we do have. Honestly, this is just something that I wanted to talk about because we talked about the potential of the Detroit Lions trading for Jamal Adams, what that would mean. So now that he is traded, I thought I would talk about the trade and talk about whether or not the Detroit Lions should have done this trade. So yesterday I saw the full details of this, and as soon as I looked at those, I said, yeah, there's no way Bob Quinn would have made that type of trade. So if you guys have not seen the trade yet, Jamal Adams, the safety for the New York Jets, has been traded to the Seattle Seahawks, and here are the details. The Jets receive a 2021 first-round pick, a 2022 first-round pick, and a 2021 third-round pick, and Bradley McDougald, I think I'm saying that right, who is a safety for Jamal Adams. Yeah, that is a huge return. So basically, the Jets got a ton of draft capital in return, and the Seahawks got Jamal Adams. That's basically the trade. So for me, when I first looked at that, I said there's no way Bob Quinn would have made that trade. Bob Quinn really values draft picks, from what I can tell, really highly. I mean, Bob Quinn really values draft capital, whether it's a third-round pick, a late-round pick, whatever. Maybe he loves his draft picks, and I get it. If I was a general manager, I would love draft picks because I feel like draft picks are really fun. So because of that, draft picks would be really awesome to just make more selections. So I definitely see why Bob Quinn would have made that trade. Now, some fans may say, well, you know what? We're in a win year with Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. You might as well make the trade because if you don't win this year, then you're going to be gone anyways, which is very factual. But would Jamal Adams have been that guy to take us over the edge? Would that have made the most sense? See, right now, Jamal Adams is pretty cheap. I mean, this dude is literally 24 years old. He was a former sixth pick in the draft in 2017 out of LSU. So he's still pretty cheap right now, and that is until his contract expires and they give him an extension, which I'm sure they will after seeing what they gave up for him. So when his contract expires and they give him an extension, yes, he's going to get tons of money. Right now, he's not super expensive. He will pair with former Detroit Lion Quandre Diggs. Yes, Nino and Jamal Adams in the same secondary. Now, this kind of reminds me of when they used to have Earl Thomas. They had the Legion of Boom, and Earl Thomas was kind of that guy in the back end for them. Well, they haven't really had that guy, and Jamal Adams is probably the closest thing they're going to have to in a long time. And Jamal Adams is an absolute monster. Some people would even say he's already the best safety in the game. Some people say he isn't. Some people say he is. It doesn't really matter. Either way, he's one of the best safeties, and he's only 24 years old. So for the Seattle Seahawks, I look at this and say, hey, this is a good trade, Seattle, because yes, you gave up a ton. Keep in mind, some of these first-round picks are probably going to be later-round picks because I'm assuming you're going to be good. So they'll at least be 20 or later picks in the draft. I mean, that's still a good first-round pick, but they're going to be a little bit later. Seattle Seahawks, you got a top talent, a former sixth-round pick that still has a little bit of time left on his rookie deal. You're going to extend this guy, and you're just adding to that secondary. Now, you're trying to win now. It seems like the Seattle Seahawks are always trying to win now. I mean, they're never up. I mean, every year, Seattle Seahawks are win now, win now, win now. The question is, should the Detroit Lions have made this trade? Should the Detroit Lions given up this much to go get a guy like Jamal Adams? Well, I have to ask the question, would Jamal Adams even be that guy to take us over the top? So if we would make a trade for a guy like Jamal Adams, I'm assuming we would have to give up similar amount of picks plus a guy like Will Harris as a safety, because they gave up a safety as well to kind of give them a safety in return. And Will Harris would make sense because he's young as well. But again, for me, for the Detroit Lions, I just don't think necessarily that trade makes sense now that I'm looking at it, because honestly, you're giving up back-to-back first-round picks. No matter where they fall in the first round, they're good picks, and you're giving up a young safety where we already have Tracy Walker, who came into his own last year when he was thrown into a big role. And the Lions have to be looking at this guy saying this guy could be one of the best in the league, kind of like Jamal Adams. Maybe not as good as Jamal Adams, plays a little bit differently, but this guy can be a beast with the addition of Daron Harmon and Will Harris as he continues to grow and get better. So you already have your young safety core. So would it really have made sense to give up this much to add another safety? Now, we know Matt Patricia really needs that secondary to be very good, but I could argue that the cornerback position then is more important than the safety position. Some people say we don't have enough to win right now. Some people believe that, some people don't. So a lot of people want to add another piece, whether it's a pass rusher. A lot of people are on the pass rusher bandwagon, and I'm good with that, because I feel like, if you add a guy like Everson Griffin, sure, you're going to have to spend some money, but you're also not having to give up any single draft picks for the future. So personally, I think the Lions roster is good enough right now to win with good coaching. I think defensively, that's what we need. We need a guy like Corey Unlin to help us secondary. If you guys haven't checked out the Corey Unlin video, make sure you do it. But I feel like Corey Unlin is going to help out that defense a lot. So I feel like we really just need coaching. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we have Darrell Bevel. The offense has proven they can win football games. And the defense, some of these guys that we're kind of just writing off has proven some stuff. Like Romeo's proven he can get 7 sacks in a season. Austin Bryant, we don't know. Deshaun Hammond, when he's healthy, he played really well. We still have some pass rushing guys. And for me, look at safety position, I couldn't have just imagined giving up this much for Jamal Adams. So personally, I'm happy we didn't make this trade, because you know what? Jamal Adams would have been awesome out there. I was kind of concerned with the fact that, he already wanted to get paid and stuff like that. Like, I have no problems with players wanting to get paid. I think, who was it? Someone made a good point. I can't remember who it was, but back when we made a video like that a long time ago, he made a good point that, hey, you know what? Obviously, he's going to be trying to make his money too. They have to retire at some point. They're not having really any income after that, which is very true. Great points there. But I get it. I get why he wants money. He's been playing well. But for the Detroit Lions, man, to give up this much to add this guy, you're eventually going to have to extend, because if you don't extend this guy and you gave up this much to receive him, that's just a terrible decision. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. You're not looking to trade him again once you get him. So that wouldn't make any sense. So you're basically planning on extending him. Now you're spending some money there. Maybe you lose out on Taylor Decker. I don't know. Some people want him back. Some people don't. But I just feel like this is way too much for the Detroit Lions to give up. So personally, I'm happy we didn't do this. Maybe if it's one first-round pick, I could see why they would do it. But this is a lot. Now, some people say, well, what about the Khalil Mack trade? When the Bears did that, took them over the edge, they won the division that year. They did win the division that year. But last year, they didn't win the division. So I think, yes, it helped him that season for sure. And I think he's still a great player. But I don't necessarily know if he's just the guy that's going to win division. Like, the Jamal Adams addition really take the Lions over the top. I feel like it's a combination of other things instead of just getting Jamal Adams. Like, for the Chicago Bears, sure, they won the division then, but they didn't win it last year. Yeah, they still have Khalil Mack on the team. Maybe he's getting a little bit older, but I mean, for me, man, I'm glad the Detroit Lions didn't give up this much to add a safety. Sure, I would have loved it in the secondary, but I'm glad they didn't. I'd rather them just go sign somebody, another free agent that is still available, or honestly just rock what they have. I feel like we have a very good team. I mean, we have made a lot of moves that people aren't looking at as superstars. Some people don't think we have enough talent on defense. For me, Jamie Collins is one of the best linebackers in the league. So I look at him and say, this guy is the best player we have defensively, and he's a beast. A lot of solid pieces. Tracy Walker could be the next beast in the secondary for us. Jeffrey Okudah, he was the 3rd pick in the draft. This guy was the 6th pick in the draft. So, I mean, look at it. We could have the beast in the back end. And for Bob Quinn, yes, I want to win this year. I feel like for him, the better option would be just going to sign somebody if he feels like he needs extra help. But I feel like at the safety position specifically, I don't think you need to help there. It would have been more of a luxury than a necessity to go get a guy like Jamal Adams. So when you see how much they gave up, makes sense we didn't make this trade. Sure, you would have been great on the team, but this is a lot to give up for a position they don't necessarily need. Like, if they did this for maybe a pass rusher, it still would be too much, to be honest with you. But I could at least make more sense of it because, okay, at least you need someone proven there. But for a safety position, I just feel like we're locked up. I feel like we're going to go. We got the young guys that, we're going to see what they can do. So we spent the draft picks already on those young guys in the secondary. I don't think this is necessarily need. It was just a luxury if we could have made it happen. And we see how much Seattle Seahawks give up. Yeah, I can see why we didn't do it. Now, who won the trade? For the Jets, I feel like they did really well. I mean, you have a guy in Jamal Adams who didn't want to be here. You could argue whether or not it's their fault that he doesn't want to be there. Either way, he wanted out, and you ended up getting 3 picks. You got 2 first-round picks and a safety in return. For me, that's a good trade for them. I mean, they got a huge return. So, assuming that, he just wanted out anyways, you had to trade him. Basically, you had to trade this guy because he wanted out. He basically requested a trade. So he wanted out, and you got a huge return. So for me personally, I think the Jets did well. And then for the Seattle Seahawks, some people say, well, maybe they gave up too much. But for the Seahawks' sake, I mean, they're competitive every year, so I can't really argue and say, well, you know, you're not doing the things right over there in Seattle, because they're good every year. And you know what? If they're going to win again, do it. I mean, I really can't blame them. You're just adding to the secondary, trying to make another Legion of Boom, I guess. So for me, man, I think both teams did well here. I don't necessarily know who did better in this trade, because I feel like for the Seahawks, when you get the great player like this, it always looks like you won the trade. And for the Jets side of things, however, you got a huge return, and they may not be the best picks in the draft, but there are first-round picks. So, yeah, I get why the Lions didn't do it. But I think both these teams did pretty well with what they had to work with. I will keep you guys updated on what happens here. You know, I'm sorry. I was hoping for a big, announcement and stuff, but, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll try to get this thing figured out. Things are going to be off and on. I know some people want to schedule some things. I may have to push things back again. I apologize. But we'll figure it out. You know, life happens. We'll figure it out. We'll adjust, and we'll make sure everything works out. So let me know your thoughts, comments below, man. How do you guys feel about this? Who won the trade? And should the Detroit Lions have made this trade? I know they have to win next year. I just don't necessarily think this was the way to do it. I think it could have helped, but I don't think giving up this much would have made too much sense. And plus, I would have never seen Bob Quinn giving up that much. Thank you, Prop, for watching, and I'm out.